didn't do anything to put Ryback over. He didn't fucking say one word about Ryback or how tough he was during that match. He just fuck him. That's what John Cena's thinking, man. Just fuck that Ryback. I'm done with him. Give me the next one. Bring on RVD. Alright, Raw review for Monday, June 17th, 2013. And, let's talk about that Payback pay-per-view real quick. Got some comments. Some people thought I was being a little too critical of the pay-per-view last night. Or, I guess, Sunday night when I put the video up yesterday. It was my initial gut reaction, okay? I watched it. I just contained all that emotion, all that hatred, bottled it up overnight, all day at work the next day. I came home, and I let it all out in that video. That was my gut reaction. That's how I felt. You're going to take Dolph Ziggler, one of my top three favorite wrestlers of the current roster, of the active roster, and you're going to bulldoze him like that? Absolutely, I'm going to have something negative to say about it. And yeah, it brought down the entire pay-per-view, in my opinion. The rest of the matches probably weren't as bad as I was saying, but, I was just in such a pissed-off mood. And yeah, it was just fucking garbage what they did to Ziggler. So let's talk about Raw here. The show opens, and I wanted to see what they were going to do with Dolph Ziggler tonight, and they didn't do a whole hell of a lot. It's all about Alberto Del Rio and his heel turn. He's trolling the crowd. They keep flip-flopping this guy from heel to babyface. If you count the amount of turns he's had, I think he said he was face for 5 months during his promo. If you go back 8 months, like within 1 year, I think he's turned like 5 fucking times. He's flipped back and forth. There was that one span of like 6 weeks where he went from heel to face like 4 times in 6 weeks. It's fucking ridiculous. They have no idea what they want to do with this guy. And the fact that they turned him heel and gave him the title over Ziggler, because he's not going to go anywhere with it. And Ziggler, When Punk came out, Punk's music hit, and he came out, I was so pissed because I thought they were going to write Ziggler just right out of the title picture. And that's it. He's done. But then Punk said something that kind of eased my fears a little bit. He said that, Dolph Ziggler deserves a title shot, and he's going to get a title rematch, one that he deserves. And that was great to hear. That he's still in there, got his name back in the mix. And CM Punk managed to put Ziggler and Jericho over in one sentence. That same sentence, he also put Jericho over. And let me tell you something. That is something that John Cena never, ever does. John Cena never puts people over like that. When John Cena came out later on for his, and I know I'm skipping ahead here, but I gotta say it while it's on my mind. When John Cena came out and cut his promo about how he won at Payback, he didn't do anything to put Ryback over. He didn't fucking say one word about Ryback or how tough he was during that match. He just fuck him. That's what John Cena's thinking, man. Just fuck that Ryback. I'm done with him. Give me the next one. Bring on RVD. That's what he wants. John Cena's such a fucking asshole. There's proper ways to do things in this business, and to help other people out, and he just ignores them. He just doesn't give a shit about anybody else but himself. He's a goddamn asshole. Back to this promo. I like what Punk had to say. And then they made the match, Punk versus Del Rio, later on in the night, just for bragging rights, I guess, to see who's the best. Next up was Wade Barrett versus Curtis Axel for Wade Barrett's Intercontinental title rematch. Except it wasn't. Christian came back. This is cool. I've always been a big Christian fan. I was very happy to see him come back. He got a nice pop. The crowd was behind him during the match. And Christian won. I was happy to see it. The match was decent. It was a decent match. I kind of feel bad for Wade Barrett. This guy is just jobbing out hard, man. He's going down, down, down. I don't even know if he's going to get his Intercontinental title rematch. Probably on maybe like main event or something they'll do it. But he's obviously going to lose. And the future is not looking very good for Wade Barrett, unfortunately. So up next is the John Cena Jr. show. Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow in a handicap match. I don't even understand this. I don't understand why they got to put down these two guys. Why Sheamus has to come out. He's almost like a heel in the things that he does. He's supposed to be a babyface, but he's just fucking over all these guys. And I know Sandow got the win for this match, but he did not end up on top. It was all about Sheamus because he turned around and he kicked Cody Rhodes right in the fucking face. Cody Rhodes, man. I just don't understand why they don't want to use him. It's a fucking disappointment every time I see Cody Rhodes get shit on by guys like fucking Sheamus. It's a goddamn fucking disappointment. I mean, the match, this was fucking stupid. This is Sheamus coming out and just sucking all the energy out of these other guys. I want to say younger talents, but Sheamus is kind of a young talent too, but he's just like, he's so generic in what he does and the promos that he cuts. You can tell he's trying to be John Cena Jr. It almost seems like it's a conscious effort on Sheamus's part to act as much like John Cena as possible. And I can't fucking stand it anymore. Sheamus is falling down on my list of people that I used to like, man. I fucking hate him now. I fucking hate Sheamus. He can just kiss my ass. There's one part during this match where JBL says, one good man isn't going to beat two good men. Talking about Sheamus versus Rhodes and Sandow. And you know what? They're going to get beat if they're jobbers, alright? And like I said, Sandow won this match, but not really. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit. Up next, we got an RVD video package that he's coming back. They played it at the pay-per-view last night. Let me quickly give my thoughts on this. I've always been a big fan of RVD. I always have. What drew me to him when I was younger was just his look, his style, his promos. He was never a great promo worker, but his just like 420 attitude. It was always fun to watch in ECW. And he was such a great in-ring worker. And even in the WWE back in the day, he was very good at what he did. And he was stealing the show continuously. When he went to TNA, right towards the end of TNA, I wasn't really a fan of his matches. He was kind of letting himself go a little bit, like gaining weight and not as high-flying, as limber, I guess you could say, as he used to be. The moves didn't look as good as they did in the past. So the quality went down with Rob Van Dam. Now that he's coming back to the WWE, I'm sure he's going to be getting himself back in shape in the coming weeks here. I believe that he can do that. I mean, I know he has kind of a lackadaisical attitude about things, but I believe when he first comes back, he'll be in fighting shape. He might be a little rusty. Might take him a few weeks to get there, but I am looking forward to him coming back initially, but I know the longer he stays with WWE, they're just going to line him up. They're lining him up for John Cena's sights, man. John Cena has got RVD in his sights. You think John Cena doesn't remember that One Night Stand pay-per-view where people were throwing the shirt back at him and booing John Cena off the fucking face of the earth, and RVD went over in that match? Oh, he remembers that. And let me tell you something, John Cena's gonna get his. He's gonna get his comeuppance on RVD, man. He's gonna fucking destroy RVD when he comes back. I do not want to see RVD get owned by John Cena, but you know it's going to happen. I don't even want to see guys come back to the WWE anymore because I know they're just going to get fed to the Cena machine. And yeah, RVD will get there, and he will go down to the Cena machine, and it's going to fucking suck. It's going to fucking just ruin. It's just going to piss me off. I'm just going to flip out just like I did last night. Fucking garbage. There was a good backstage segment with Kane and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan talked about Team RK No, how they couldn't get the job done last night. And Daniel Bryan basically says he doesn't want to be on a tag team anymore. He wants to prove himself in this company, and the only way to do that is to compete in singles competition and to go for the WWE Championship. They pretty much flat out said it right there. Daniel Bryan wants to get to that title, and very soon he's going to get there. A lot of people think SummerSlam. And the train has started down the tracks, absolutely. I said the ride for Daniel Bryan is going to be great until he hits that match with John Cena, and then he's going to get destroyed, just like Ryback, just like Mark Henry's going to, just like RVD will. They're all going to go down to John Cena. I mean, you know, it's predictable as hell. Or they're going to beat him and get a 2-month title run, and then Cena will win it back. I mean, it's so fucking predictable. It's the same old shit, constantly. So up next was the match, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. And I thought they were going to save this for the next pay-per-view, honestly. So when it happened on Raw, I was a little surprised. The fans voted for DQ, but it didn't really matter because the match got stopped midway through it. At first, I thought this was a work, and I didn't really understand how they were doing this with storyline-wise. But it turns out I think it was actually legitimate, where Daniel Bryan crashed into that barricade with the suicide dive, and he legitimately hurt himself. And Randy Orton basically got the ref to get the medic over to check out Daniel Bryan. And then they did their best to set up a quick finish where Daniel Bryan didn't want to stop no matter what, but the medic called it. So I'm all for keeping the guy safe. Obviously, I don't want to see anything happen to Daniel Bryan. But the problem is, there's been so many real injuries lately mixed with fake ones that it's kind of fucking up the product right now. I mean, in the past couple of weeks, we've had Triple H's concussion, Dolph Ziggler's real concussion, and fake concussion. And now we've had Daniel Bryan's the stinger, it turned out to be. So in the past 6 weeks, I guess, we've had four fucking medical reasons that matches were ended with medical reasons. And before this, I can't even remember the last time that happened. But in the past 6 weeks, we had 4 matches stop like that. That's fucking annoying. Like, I understand the guys need to be safe, but that's when you stop matches for medical reasons, that they're fake, it's all kayfabe bullshit, and then it happens for real, you're kind of fucking yourself over, because now the crowd's getting pissed because it keeps happening, because you keep using those finishes as excuses to end matches and continue bullshit storylines. So the WWE's kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I hope they stop with the fake injury ending matches for that reason, so that we can get past all this garbage. It's fucking annoying. So AJ comes out next, and she cuts a promo about how great she was winning the title match last night, and how her plan to fool Caitlyn and get inside her head was like super awesome. Go AJ, woo! And then Stephanie McMahon comes out, and I mean, the promo was okay. It was very grating on the ears from both of these two women. And Stephanie McMahon, it almost seemed like they were trying to out-heel one another, because Stephanie McMahon was being a fucking bitch. The things she was saying, man, if they were going for me to cheer for her, it wasn't happening, because she was like, I'm going to fire you. And you know, it's true. That's what the McMahons do, Hunter, Vince, Stephanie. If they don't like you, if you do something to piss them off, they're going to fucking get rid of you. Or they're not going to get rid of you, but they'll Alex Riley your ass and make you just fucking despise and loathe what you were once so passionate about. Because that's what they're best at, is just destroying the things that you love. So, yeah. I mean, this really put the spotlight on the Divas match, though, with Stephanie being a super bitch, notwithstanding. And then all of the Divas, I think it was all the Divas, I don't know if there's more than what came out, led by AJ, interrupted them, and then Stephanie comes up the ramp and she says, don't do that again. And she was a bitch to even the faces, too. I didn't really understand that. Stephanie definitely came off as a fucking bitch, heel. So, if that's what they were trying to do, mission accomplished, but I don't think that's what they were trying to do, so It didn't fucking work as far as I'm concerned. But this really put the spotlight on the Divas division as a whole. And I will say within the past few weeks, it's actually improved. I mean, I watched a Divas segment on Raw. I can't... It has been literally years since the last time I've done that. So I was interested. I was slightly entertained. I was interested. And that is definitely a step in the right direction, so I hope they keep doing this. I would love to be able to watch Divas women's wrestling matches again. I don't like calling them Divas. It's fucking stupid. But women's wrestling matches, I would love to watch them again in the WWE. So yeah, go ahead. Continue with the positive changes. Next up is a match I don't want to see again, and it happened again anyway. Kane versus Dean Ambrose for the U.S. title. Luckily, it barely got started when Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins came out. Reigns did another awesome spear on Kane. Looks really good when he does it on Kane. Then Kane got the triple power bomb. So yeah, that was the end of that match. I think it was just a plot device to get them backstage with Vicky Guerrero, who almost looked like she was ready to fire the guys in the Shield, which you knew that wasn't going to happen. And then Vince came back and was like, oh, good job, guys. Yeah, everybody doing a good job. Vicky, you're doing a good job. And it's all part of this McMahon bullshit happening backstage, which I'll talk about later on. The best part of this promo for me was Dean Ambrose and the hilarious... He was very funny in this backstage promo. He only had a couple of lines, but just the way he delivered them were great. I recommend you watch it just to see him do that good goofy shit that he does. Next up was Zeb Coulter coming out, and he's managing Antonio Cesaro now. What do you know? And he's got Antonio Cesaro saying, "We the people." Fuck, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we got to sit through more of that garbage. But maybe this will be a push for Cesaro. I mean, a push back up to probably one of the mid-card championships. But I don't think it'll go any further than that, because for some reason the WWE can't figure out what the fuck to do with almost total package like Antonio Cesaro. You got money slapping you in the face, and they're like, what do we do with this? We don't know what to do with this guy. Well, let's have him yodel. Let's have him come out walking like a gorilla. Let's have him say, "We the people." It's fucking stupid, man. Just have the guy go out and destroy and cut great promos. It's not hard. I mean, they used to have guys do that. Fuck, man. So the match was against Cesaro versus William Regal. And William Regal has always been fun in the ring. He bridged out of a pin at one point, and then Cesaro followed that up with a double stomp while he was bridging. And William Regal sold that fucker like a champ. The way he was selling, gritting his teeth and just crawling around the ring like a son of a bitch. It was fun to watch. And Cesaro looked good during this match. He won convincingly. It was a squash match. One thing that wasn't so great with this match was the fucking commentary. Commentary was garbage, guys. They weren't even talking about the match. It was all about the new gimmick for Cesaro. I mean, it was almost the entire match. They barely mentioned a single fucking move. Wow, man. It fucking sucked. It was goddamn annoying to listen to that commentary. Like, do they have to suck so bad at it? So next up was the dick face promo. John Cena comes out, and people are booing the shit out of him. Again. They're booing the shit out of him constantly. And instead of people booing, I would love if the crowd that disliked John Cena, which is about 50% of all of the arenas out there, most of the time it's more than that, instead of booing, if people just got up and walked out of the stands and went to the fucking concession stands when John Cena came out. Instead of booing, just walk away. And then come back when he leaves and goes back behind that curtain. That's how you send a statement to the WWE. So when this guy comes out, we don't give a fuck about this portion of the product. And Cena says, it's the same old shit, man. Honestly, I love this, you guys. I love this. He's slapping you in the face with his dick again. That's what he's doing. John Cena is at the top. He's gonna stay there, and he knows it. He knows that whatever reaction he gets, whatever the crowd, the fans want to see, it doesn't mean shit. He's going to continue to be there constantly. He knows it, and he's rubbing it in your face. He's rubbing his dick in your face. And he loves, I bet he loves doing it too. He's like, you people are going to boo me? Well, guess what? I'm not going anywhere. That's pretty much what he's really saying here. And oh man, it's just fucking, it's fucking horrible, man. I remember there was a period of time it was about 2 years when I didn't watch wrestling. And it was shortly after the first Undertaker-Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania that I stopped watching WWE. And then I came back into the WWE when The Rock first made his return a few years ago. That's what brought me back. Because I didn't like the product, the way it was going. I wanted to get out of it. And then I came back when The Rock came back because I thought, hey, maybe things will change. Boy, that was a fucking mistake. For some reason, I've stuck around. But I remember all that time ago, John Cena was cutting promos like this back then. How many years ago was that? Flash forward, he's still saying the same fucking thing. And it's like probably once a month he cuts a promo like this. It's because everywhere he goes, people boo the fuck out of him. And he just isn't going to go anywhere, and he knows it. And he's just fucking slapping you in the face with his dick. Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I literally want to skip through every single promo like this. But he did speak some truth tonight. He said that whoever is going to win Money in the Bank is not going to beat him. They're not going to be able to cash it in on him. And you know what? He's right. He's going to remain at the top. He's going to fucking bury whoever comes out. He's going to bury him. Or he's going to fucking... They'll beat Cena and they'll get, like, what? A 2-month title run, just like Del Rio or Dolph Ziggler. And then he'll win it back. And then he'll fucking disappear. He'll get Alex Riley, whoever it is. So... yeah, he's 100% accurate in that statement. That fucking douchebag. Then Mark Henry comes out while John Cena's still in the ring. And this retirement promo segment, whatever you want to call it, it was good. It was great. At first I thought it was legitimate. I really did. But when he asked John Cena to stick around, I knew something was strange. I knew something was off, and he kept alluding to John Cena, making references to how he was never as popular as John Cena was, so you could tell it wasn't legit. But it was still great. You were just waiting for something to happen, and then right at the very end it did. He gave the world's strongest slam to John Cena, and the whole segment was awesome. It was great. They took that retirement angle where you can get a lot of praise from the fans, and then it was a swerve, world's strongest slam. People are cheering, they're screaming for Mark Henry. They're screaming for Mark Henry over John Cena. What does that say about John Cena? Nothing against Mark Henry, but he's never been a super popular guy. But when he dominates John Cena, people fucking love the shit out of him. So looks like it's going to be Mark Henry versus John Cena at the next pay-per-view. And yeah, I'm willing to see what they're going to do with it. I can give Mark Henry a chance. His match, what he does, it looks like it's going to be terrible, but it can sometimes turn out to be interesting as long as they don't have him in shit like a tug-of-war contest. Dumb shit like that. That shit's fucking stupid. But if they just put him in serious storylines and give him serious things to do, he can be surprisingly good. Next up was Chris Jericho versus Heath Slater. I don't even understand. This was just a filler match. It was an okay match, but who cares? I'm not even sure why Jericho was in this match. He deserves to be doing something better than that, that's for sure. Next up was Sin Cara versus Curtis Axel. And it was a decent match. It was a fast match. It ended pretty quickly. Axel controlled most of the match, and he looked strong. And he hit Sin Cara with what looked to be a new finisher. Sort of a DDT where he kind of like holds on to the guy's legs and drops him for a little extra stiff impact at the end there. And I liked it. It was pretty cool. If he wants to mix that in with the Perfect Plex, I'm fine with that. Give the guy multiple finishers. It works for me. And yeah, Curtis Axel looked strong, and Triple H was far, far away from the man. So yeah, thank fucking God. And then up next was all that stupid McMahon bullshit that was going on throughout the night. And I don't even care about this stuff. Triple H is trying to do his one thing, Vince McMahon's doing the other thing, and it's totally opposite. And then Stephanie McMahon's also in there, and Vicky Guerrero's like, oh, who do I listen to? Who fucking gives a shit? You know, nobody cares. It's the owners of the company on the show taking up a good amount of time on the show. For what? For what? You're taking time away from your actual employees. Get these assholes off of my TV. I want to see wrestling. I want to see the current active roster doing promos like this, not these fucking douchebags. Get them off of my television. Ugh. Next up was the main event, CM Punk versus Del Rio. And, it's great to see Punk back on Raw in a wrestling match. The match was good, but, it didn't last very long. Del Rio pussed out. It's almost instant, the change, how Del Rio went from a never run away babyface to a puss out heel. Happened earlier in the show. Punk challenged him. He didn't want to do it. Vicky Guerrero had to make the match. Now, during the middle of the match, he runs away. 24 hours ago, or even like last week on Raw, he wasn't doing stuff like that. It's like, why do all the heels... I mean, I believe I know why all the heels have to be like that, and I want to make that video soon, too. I'll just give you my reasons on that. But it fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks. Aside from a select few, all the heels have to run away and be cowards and pussies. And it's immediate. The change happens instantaneously. There's other ways to have a heel get heat. Have him be dominant. The crowd would love that. They would eat that up and boo the fuck out of him. Especially now because they haven't seen it, really, in like 6 fucking years. It's just fucking stupid, man. But what I did like was Dolph Ziggler actually did make an appearance. He came out, he attacked Del Rio as he was running away. Punk got the count-out victory. Dolph Ziggler's beating the shit out of Alberto Del Rio all the way to the backstage. Good to see. I'm happy that they did that. It put Dolph Ziggler's name back out there on TV, got him back in the picture again. So we'll see what happens. But I have this very bad feeling that they're just going to make Del Rio... They're going to make Dolph Ziggler face. I always fuck up their names. They're going to make Dolph Ziggler face, but he's going to be a mid-card face. He's going to go back to fighting on Cody Rhodes level. That's going to fucking suck. So next up was the big moment. Punk just won by a count-out. Out comes Brock Lesnar. You pretty much see this coming because Punk said he didn't want Paul Heyman in his corner anymore because he almost cost him the match the night before. Go manage your other 2 people. And then Paul Heyman's like, I love you, you're the best in the world, right before the match happened. And then out comes Brock Lesnar. Of course, at the behest of Paul Heyman. Even if it wasn't. We'll find out next week, I guess, if Paul ordered him to do it or not. But still, it was the moment everybody wanted to see, everybody was waiting for. He came out, he slowly circled the ring, got in. Kind of similar to what he did with John Cena when he first came back before Extreme Rules. And he acted like he was about to say something, throws the mic down, F5 to CM Punk. It was a cool moment. I was happy to see it. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to this feud. And the match between those two should be very good. So, overall, this Raw was actually not too bad. I would call it decent. There were parts that I didn't like, but there were more parts that I did like than I did not. So, I will say that the product, certain parts of the product have been improving lately. But John Cena always comes up with the big fucking fail every time. Alright guys, that's going to about do it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.